So we're going to be talking about religion today, mostly focusing on the Abrahamic religions, that being Christianity, Judaism, oh, you know buddy, and Islam, right? He said that's the plan.
He said.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
In relation to the last conversation we had about being progressive versus conservative, right? And maybe we
Yeah.
can bring in one more dogmatic belief system that's brewing today. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because I haven't thought about it long enough to actually hash out a set like
What,
boundaries around the idea.
what
But
are we calling it? What are
I
you
don't
referring to
I don't want
exactly?
to label it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to label it yet. But it
Gotcha.
roughly is this whole democratic scientific idea. You know what I mean? Like there's so much that goes into this and it's not like fully formed. So to give it a
Yeah.
full name doesn't make sense right now. So,
You said I think
uh,
I think some people would call it Scientology.
yeah, it's a shame
I'm
that
playing.
name's taken
It is because it's such a cool
because
name.
it'd be a perfect name for it for what I'm
It
talking.
would.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah." Well, that one's
I said,
taken over, man. I love you, boy. So, all right, let's get right back into it. So, we're going to be
all right.
discussing these three religions, right? And they all share like a common starting point, that being Abraham. You know, Abraham is their shared point. Their what do they call Abraham? It's the shared prophet for all the faiths.
I've heard that term. I just want to quickly interject and just say that I'm in no means, in any way, shape, or form, highly knowing of any information when it comes to these Abrahamic religions. I'm very surface level when it comes to any of the three main religions. Merely will give perspectives and have perspectives from surface level, hearing other people talk about it, and just my own perception of it from how I see other people interact with the conversation and those ideologies. And it's just my take on it.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's not like I've read the Quran through and through. I own a copy.
Yeah,
I've read passages from it. I own many copies of the Bible, different
right.
translations, and I've not read the entire Bible. I wouldn't be a waste of my time. I feel like, but I have read major sections of the Bible.
It'd be very boring.
It would be very boring. I'd rather read "Thus Spoke Zarathustra."
I mean,
But
well, I, I
but
don't
with that
blame you.
being said, though, I know a lot though, just
Yeah,
from like peripheral knowledge from what other people have said. It's more
right.
specifically about
Which is what it
Christianity.
all originates from as well, is what a whole bunch of other people said.
Yeah,
You know,
because
because
let's be real
initially it
here.
was initially it was passed down through oral traditions until groups of whoever decided this may be a prime time to start writing some of this stuff down for whatever reasons you may give for why you would do that. You know,
Yeah,
control
and,
the
and
populace, a way out from your current situation that reality is brutal and you need an excuse of why you need to ignore it, whatever.
yeah, I know. I guess there's a plethora of reasons. Just
Yeah, it's
mostly
tons.
building a framework to
Yeah,
operate in
but as far
reality
as
as
we
a
know,
social group.
I assume that it was initially an oral tradition, was it not?
That's what I hear, especially when it
Yeah,
comes to the Old Testament
yeah,
and hell, the New Testament, because supposedly our writings from the New Testament aren't until centuries later after, supposedly the disciples had witnessed Jesus Christ.
right.
But um, the reason why I want to focus on those three religions specifically is number one, they're the closest to the our worldview because we grew up
Mm-hmm.
in the United States and Christianity is the dominant religion here,
Right.
and the Eastern religions and other lesser known religions aren't salvific. They aren't um what's the word I'm looking for? Revelatory. Like there's no revelations, no end of time coming. There's no
Right.
savior coming for his people, or the chosen
Mm-hmm.
people, or the people who believe the right way. These three religions share this. And that's why
Right.
this is the most important when discussing this progressivism versus conservatism, in my opinion. Mostly because that's dangerous. Because I believe that the one good thing that the Bible does teach is that you shouldn't fear, because God has it. And to some degree, I'm mystical. You know,
Yeah.
when I say God has it, God is protecting you in reality.
Yeah.
So for me, as I live my life, I don't look at it in the same way that a Christian would. I don't believe the mythos and the stories. I don't have to believe it. I look at it as like, as I'm a human being in reality, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't fear, because one day I'll die, and it's that separation from emotion, because I'm not in control of all of this. I'm exposed to a very narrow slice of reality,
Yeah.
and I just have to accept my place in it. That doesn't mean though that human beings shouldn't try to be more. So when we're talking about this, like an accelerationism, or moving towards greater use of technology, and maybe even to some degree having some technocracies, we should embrace that. We shouldn't look at it as like it's bringing about the end of reality and our savior's coming. That's dangerous, man. That's why I'm
Very
very scared
dangerous.
of those religions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It'll
wouldn't say
cause it'll
this.
cause entire civilizations to become stagnant.
Yeah, I believe it will.
Yeah,
Because
and
what are you doing?
I would argue it has
I would
in the
argue that
past.
it has as well.
Yeah.
But we're seeing a resurgence here.
Yeah.
Supposedly, last I heard, Islam's the largest growing religion on the planet. And because
Mm-hmm.
of Western democracies, what's happening is they're moving, people who practice Islam are moving into Western democracies. And because of the unique way Western democracies function, it's based
Mm-hmm.
on the majority of people and how they vote.
Mm-hmm.
Islam can take over sections of a municipality.
Yeah,
And
especially if those Western democracies are heavily pacified, they'll just I mean,
yeah,
their whole world will basically be flipped upside down
yeah.
because of
So
these
if
people
you
coming in with these practices.
if you look at it now, like the liberals or progressives or whatever you want to call them, in like these very like liberal cities,
Mm-hmm.
they would support Islam simply because those people are different. And then they're like, well,
Yeah,
you have to support people and their differences and minorities, because they have a
yeah, I
big
don't.
bad enemy they're looking at, the big bad Christian white man. And it's
Yeah,
like they're
yeah,
not seeing the big bad Muslim man,
yeah.
coming.
They don't see that these people fled third world, second world nations, lands that are in that predicament, not just because of Western development, but due to their own lack of development and ambitions to be something other than what their traditions have led them to be now. And so
Yeah,
they seek to leave those lands and bring that here.
yeah, but would you say that? I mean, I've never been to any of these countries, and but I
True.
would
Yeah.
imagine that there are some places that are fairly well developed,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
but I would say this though, and this stands for every group of humans. The closer you are to inbreeding, like if your gene pool isn't diverse and vast, and
Yeah.
each generation it doesn't get more diverse, then you run into this issue. Man, I hate to come back to this because I hate to do the IQ thing, but
Go
you run
ahead.
into this issue where inbreeding is detrimental to, we'll just use the word IQ, because if I
Yes.
recognize IQ as anything, it's the ability to recognize connections, large amounts of information and the connections therein, and it's you can recognize that in quick amounts of time, like smaller increments of time than others.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
would give you,
In a, I guess in a more basic way is how quickly can you notice sets of patterns?
Yeah, how quickly can you notice sets of patterns and how many patterns?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, in
Mm-hmm.
that amount of time.
Yeah.
And let's just be real here. I mean, your genetics are directly tied to your organism's ability to form
Mm-hmm.
throughout your life. And a good nervous system allows you to take in more information.
Yeah.
So you want strong genetics to form a good nervous system. And
Yeah.
I,
And
I think we've proved that inbreeding is detrimental to the development of of a progressing nervous system.
mm-hmm.
And you see this inbreeding, and luckily not so much in America now, because the or Europe, because the Europeans started breeding, even though we're still a pretty small group as Caucasians. So there is
Yes,
some
the
level of
minority.
inbreeding. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a small group in the world, so that's still some level of inbreeding. But in America, we're pretty diverse. We're pretty diverse, so we're kind of avoiding that. We're kind of putting it off. But when you
Yeah, we
couple
are.
inbreeding with worldviews and ideologies like the
Mm-hmm.
Abrahamic faiths have, like there's some savior coming, and built into mostly Christianity is this idea that progress is apocalyptic. That's
Yeah. It
that's
it only ends
dangerous.
in doom.
Yeah, it only ends in doom. It's the mark of the beast and the
Yeah,
rise of the
it's
Antichrist. That's why, for the life of me, I can't understand why these really smart guys who are involved in technology have these Christian and Judaic worldviews.
mm-hmm.
I can't figure it out. And they'll say, well, it's
That's
true. And the reason I can't believe it's true is one, there's a plethora of other great belief systems out there
yep.
that aren't salvific. They're not apocalyptic. They actually
Mm-hmm.
have a fairly
Optimistic
equal.
outlook on the future of whatever's developing.
Yeah, or maybe not even just optimistic, but pragmatic.
Right.
Like there's none of this. There are optimistic. Then there's also ones that aren't so much optimistic, but they just kind of. It's not doom and gloom, and it's not my
Yeah.
people against your people, and I'll run into it a lot right now
Mm-hmm.
where I'm seeing young Americans, which is a tragedy. We're moving back to this. I see it stirring, especially on the right, this Christian nationalism, which is just an answer to this crazy other religion that's developing on the left that we were discussing
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, I mean the pendulum definitely swung one way and now it's coming back the other, for lack of
Yeah,
a better way to
what about
put
this?
it.
Why can't we just be a group of animals in the world and we don't know how we got here? And that's totally acceptable because we're here
And that's
regardless of.
okay to say
Yep,
out loud.
because we're here
Okay.
regardless of how we got
Yep.
here. And you manage your emotions with that. And there's no telos, there's no like purpose, divine purpose set for us. Our purpose will be whatever we decide it should be.
Yeah, whatever
And
we
our
designate.
morality, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just adding on to you, so yeah, you're good.
Our morality is constructed based on whatever we find's good for us in the environments we're in,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever size group we have, and whatever tools are at our disposal. How come our morality can't be fluid and under question? And I would argue that's what the Constitution was set up to do. It was set up to,
It was yeah.
yeah, generate a legal system where we
Mm-hmm.
could build like some sort of loose moral framework so that people with different backgrounds could come
Yeah.
together and have a life, and progress together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we can't have an America that is divorced from these archaic religions. And it just pains me to see people get on political platforms and you either have to be this you have to follow dogma, whether it's dogma of the left or dogma of the right. You got to follow dogma. You can't
Yeah.
just say I'm just a guy or a girl or whatever you are. In reality, I really have no real clue why I'm here, but I'm doing this to, I'm just here to experience reality, whatever that may mean. and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to build a morality and a system within which to operate within that reality together. Instead, what we're seeing rising with Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, it's like these people are going to battle for the world. I won't say his name, but we've seen one guy get on a podcast and say, if the Abrahamic world doesn't get its shit together, it's over. It's like, it's like,
Yeah, it's
dude,
like what does that mean? So it's like because you guys lost, you didn't lose anything. You're just your main plot, your main reasoning in your mind for being here has fallen through, so therefore everyone has to suffer due to the destruction of your perception of reality. That will fade and you'll just get back to your normal base operating point of getting up every day and doing your everyday normal activities.
I know it'll fade. It'll fade just because your
Yeah,
group
it's just
don't have the power to control the whole world, and God didn't isn't
yeah.
favoring everyone. It's like they've got to get away from this. It's like who cares? Who cares? Who cares about your grandfather was a Christian? Who cares that you grew up a Christian? Who cares about any of this? You know what I care about? That I'm a human being alive right now. I love people. I have I care about the things I do in the world. I care about the work I
Mm-hmm.
go do and produce. I care about this podcast and who I am in the world. And I care about the music I make. I care about the
Yeah.
philosophers I read. I just care because my reality is central to me. That doesn't make it selfish. That doesn't mean that there's nothing beyond me. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
willing to say that if there is a God, I don't know. It would be none
Yeah.
of my business. If there is a truth, capital T, it's none of my business. I don't have access to it. All I have access to is what's true to me right now. And
Right.
then how I can extend that out to other human beings. And
Yeah, I think it's important for modern humans to say, I don't know what's beyond us, and it's okay for me to not know, but it's also okay for me to strive to search for knowledge that these groups would pertain to only a God should have or know about, whether it's the development of human species through genetics, eugenics, or electronics, cybernetics, or what have you. It's okay to not necessarily look inward I guess on an individual level and a societal level and say we as a whole don't know, and it's scary at times, but that feeling of feeling scared or fear in general will fade because we have the ability to think and produce our imagination into a physical form that will allow us to manipulate what's around us and help hopefully push us in a positive direction for all of us in some way. And
yeah, I agree.
it's good. And I don't like that with the Abrahamic religions. I don't like that. It seems to me, from my perspective, that they teach that it's not okay for an individual human or humans to look upon themselves and thank themselves for being good at something or great at something or godlike. It's pretty cool that when a flash flood hits a town, that it won't be the hand of God reaching down from the sky to scoop you out of the water. It'll be humans in a helicopter rappelling down to grab you off your roof as the water comes rushing by. That's amazing.
It is amazing. I would
Or
agree.
human or humans being able to slam particles together in a hadron collider to see what comes about, or to split an atom to create a mini sun on the surface of the planet. It's like
Yeah,
you're all
and
yeah.
I want to go off of that point. In later episodes I'd like to go into like my beliefs, if you call them
Yeah.
beliefs, about like this, about like God and greater
Mhm.
things. But simply I want to put it is it's better to act as if there's no such thing as a God.
Yeah.
Because if there is a such thing as a God, it's everything,
It's
including me.
everything everywhere all at once, and there's
It's
there's no lag.
the smallest atom, the smallest subatomic particle to the planet, to a sun, to a black hole, to the entire universe. That would be God in my imagination. And therefore, I'm part of that. So is my consciousness. I don't fear death because I'm not coupled emotionally. I found a way to decouple my emotions from my existence. I
Right.
know that
Yeah.
they are nothing more than a manifestation of my existence. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I don't fear death, like in the fact that my animal body won't
Yeah. I mean,
generate the
who
neurochemicals when the
you
time
don't know how your
comes.
death is going to come about. It could be at the hands of a serial killer or whatnot. Something like that could truly be scary.
Or it could
It's
be at
like
the hands of a bunch of
maniacs who were upset
Abrahamic.
that you don't follow their God.
Yeah.
So
So they develop nuclear bombs and blow everyone up.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, see, if you would have just
See?
believed,
Yeah, if you just believed. Oh, don't
you're
worry. One day he'll come rescue all of
yeah,
us and our souls in
yeah. It's
heaven.
like our God would have showed you mercy if you'd have just believed. We wouldn't have had to press the button.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And that's the dangerous thing. I want to get away from that. And I don't know
Yeah,
how we do that. What needs to happen, though, and I
I don't
really
know if it's
believe.
I don't know if it's possible for modern humans to do it at the moment. I mean, I think a lot of people tend when people look outwardly, especially in a developed country like the USA, when they look outwardly and they just wonder about the issues and problems of the world and the conflicts or whatever you want to call them. I think they tend to overlook one of the main causes for a lot of these problems, and it's the beliefs in all religions, really, but mostly the main three Abrahamic religions. It's like that; the beliefs in those systems alone cause a lot of feuds amongst a lot of people.
I know
It's simply just over words, made up things.
some shit some people wrote.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they swear God wrote it.
yeah, and it's like you wouldn't. That in itself just seems weird to me. It's just like a God, as they express it, would have no need to have a disciple ready to pass a message down and inscribe it on some stone or paper so that others can read it or have it read to them. No, I would assume it would simply be implanted down to a genetic level so that all beings would always know it.
Yeah, well, there are some other religions that touch on this that I kind of favor here, and
Yeah,
one of the ideas would be that all of creation is God. You can witness
yeah,
God in everything. It's like
mm-hmm.
there's none of this need to have a favored people. There's none of this
Yeah.
need to have favored
Which is
practices.
clearly, which is clearly an attempt to control the narrative.
Yeah. Oh,
The
100%.
the main three religions, the Abrahamic religions, are mostly created to control the narrative, to control the populace of whoever may be in power at the time. They are just curated so perfectly to attach themselves to people who feel as if they're lost or scared, and these religions they they dig in and they take
Yeah.
hold.
I mean, there's some
They
other
do.
religions that are similar, like Zoroastrianism. It's
Yeah.
actually, thus spoke Zarathustra. Nietzsche actually, his main character is Zarathustra or Zoroaster of the Zoroastrian religion. And, they have this, just if you just research Zoroastrianism and you'll see the parallels to Christianity. And you'll see how the Romans built this religion of Christianity based on
Yeah.
religions in their world around at the time. Judaism and Zoroastrianism and some other
Mm-hmm.
Persian religions that were in the area. And I'm not saying I hate Christianity or I think it has no value. I think it had a lot of value for our species at
Right.
one point. And
Yeah.
I think that if you read it as you would another book, it still has value. But to base your entire worldview and life around it and believe it's the truth and the way, we're
It
beyond that.
definitely we're beyond that, and it definitely will limit you.
It will. It'll limit our entire
You have
species.
willingly limited yourself to a certain existence.
Yeah, it's like believing that, in my opinion, I liken it to, it's like believing that eating poison will heal you, or I don't have a good analogy for it, but it's like believing that something that's probably pretty bad for everyone is pretty good for everyone. You know, like say drinking poison to heal you. It's like
Mm-hmm.
this isn't going to be good. You know what's going to help us? You know what has helped us? Us investigating our physical reality we're in, trying to
Yeah.
build sets of laws. That's the
Yeah.
word of God. That is the
Mm-hmm.
word of God, if there is a word of God. And putting those
Yeah.
sets of laws together and seeing how we can actually use those laws to manipulate our reality to provide a better quality of life for everyone. And maybe one day we will amass a technology that will allow us to live thousands of years or digitize ourselves and live forever. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't need. I will live forever because
Yeah.
I am not Terrence Caldwell. Terrence Caldwell is an identity formed on a need to feel like one thing. I'm everything,
Yeah.
and you're everything. Anybody watching this, you're everything. You just, your animal form traps you into this thing called your identity, whether it's your skin color, your name, who you're
Mm-hmm.
related to, what religion you follow. All of these things are arbitrary. I'm not saying they don't matter, but everyone's got one. Everyone's got a
Yeah.
set of these things that make them what they are. And they're in the Eastern way of life. They have a way of looking at this that's like, they'll say like, is the bee not the flower? Because bees and flowers, their existence is so married together, they might as well be the same thing.
Yeah. They
Like
might
for
as well
you
be
and
the
I,
same thing. Yeah.
are we not trees? I mean, you'd have
Yeah.
no oxygen to breathe if trees didn't produce it. It's like, so what are you without a tree? What are
Mm-hmm.
you without an earth? You know, and we have this weird decoupling where we like to feel like in the Abrahamic faith that we're not part of this thing,
Yeah. No.
and
Yeah.
that whatever made it and is outside of this thing is looking out for us and reminding us that we're not part of it and there's a special place we're going
And
to
we
go
won't.
to.
And we won't be here until one day it's no longer here.
Yeah, and it's going to save us.
Yeah. It'll save us
And
before all this ends. Don't worry.
and that's why it's important, if you follow one of these religions, to read the Nag Hammadi library.
What is that?
And it's a set of books written around the same time that the New Testament was written. And some of them, I believe, I could be wrong, are a little bit older. And
Mm-hmm.
it focuses around this idea that, I'm going to get this wrong because I don't know it that well, and it's been a long time since I've read the books. Um, but basically, there's it's more pagan. It's like there's levels to reality, and there's the Father of all, and then all the way down you have like these these orders of like angels and gods, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still in terminology from other worldviews, but they create these like emanations of reality. And basically, if you look at like the Greek worldview, it's like these people stood for relations and ways of being, you know, like war and
Right.
justice and bravery, and we personified them. It's kind of the same way in Gnosticism. And there's this character called Yadabaoth, and basically he's the Old Testament God. He created the material world in their religion, and all it is he's just this egotistical, prideful being that thinks he's all powerful, and he creates material reality and tries to basically prove his power. And he sees a reflection of the Father of all, which is like their God, like
Yeah.
their main God. He is God. He's everything. Everything's within him.
As Marvel puts it, the one above all.
Yeah, and he sees that reflection inside his creation, and he tries to form man. And
Mm-hmm.
he's so prideful that the father of all breathes spirit into man, and that's Adam. And that's how Adam's created. And but basically, this world to them is like a material prison
Yeah.
because their soul is not of this world.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the father of all, like the greatest being.
Right.
And the material world they're trapped in is like a prison, a matrix that their souls crammed into. And when you read that, it kind of opens up your eyes to the way other people were thinking at the time Christianity was formed. They had a
Right.
similar view of reality, but it was from the opposite direction totally. And for me, I don't believe the Gnostic worldview either. Like for me, it's like, it's just kind of silly. It's like no one
Mm-hmm.
knows. I happen to be here.
Yeah,
That's
no one
good
knows,
enough
and I
for me.
in that regards, I think it's okay not to know. I don't
I
I
think it
don't
is.
I don't think you should uh formulate groups to beat down other groups because they think they know versus the other group that says they know.
Yeah, we're past that. And I
Yeah,
want to
I'd like
say,
to think we are.
I'd like to think we are too. And we got to start acting like we are as a
Yeah.
species. And
Because
what
if
it's
not,
going
I'm
to
going to
be,
get my group.
and what it's going to be is young people.
Yep.
Young people have to realize that they are stepping into a world that generations before them know absolutely nothing about.
Mm-mm.
Technology is delivering information and they have to be ready to consume it. They have to be ready to make decisions with that information. And this is why we're going to need some level of genetic manipulation so that we can all handle this information, so that we can get rid of what inbreeding has caused.
Mm-hmm.
We young people are going to have to say, you know what? I know that reality can be scary. I know your emotions can be overwhelming at times. I know everyone doesn't have a good upbringing and
Yep.
reality is not stable. But what we have to do is we have to think about how to generate societies. We have to
Mm-hmm.
engineer societies that serve everyone. We have to engineer worldviews that will serve our species long into the future. When we build a house, we do this kind of engineering. You know, a good engineer will consider entropy and how
Yes.
the tendency of his design to fall apart and how he can ward against that and how he can build a system of maintenance that is actually doable. You can follow it and you can execute the system of maintenance, and the system maintains itself against entropy. We can do this. We can do this. We can't do it if we keep having cavemen, people who have the same mentality as basically cavemen, or people right out of the cave. You know, and I'm not saying cavemen like historically, like
Yeah.
anthropologically. I'm saying cavemen like in Plato's cave. Maybe it applies anthropologically too.
Yeah.
But if we keep having cavemen tell us that, oh no, our God's going to save us, and anything you're doing is evil, we won't, we
Yeah.
can't do
Well,
it. We
we'll
can't do
stag.
it with those people.
Yeah, we'll become stagnant.
If we keep letting those people run our societies, we won't do it. Unless we let them think they're running the society and somebody's running it behind the scenes. That's the
Yes.
only other way.
Yeah. I mean, at this moment, at this point, I would assume, man, I hope there's a philosopher king who is playing the opposite of what our upfront leaders are doing.
Yeah. Or some group, some
Yeah.
like
Some. Yeah.
who's just
Some
running the show.
Illuminati.
Yeah. Oh God. Hey, I'm here for it. I mean, somebody's got to be the
Yeah,
sane one.
someone's got to push us for. Someone's got to be daddy to pick your ass up off the ground after you scraped your knee and tell you you'll get over it.
And you'll constantly hear, if you talk to young people who are in the way of Christ, that
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen is we're going to get egotistical. We're going to worship ourselves and see what happens with communism. And every
It's
time we
like,
come
how
back
did
to
you?
that,
It's like, what do you mean by worship yourselves? What, to say thank you to another human being when they've developed some type of medicine that saved your life?
Yeah, because I want to say this: all we've ever done is worship ourselves. When you worship that God in that book, you worship men who wrote it.
Yeah,
You
you're
have
not.
no proof. You can base it on faith all you want. Let me ask you this: if you can have faith that some God in an archaic book is protecting you in reality, then why can't you have the same faith for your fellow human beings, in yourself, and in the reality we're constructing, and the
Yeah,
technology we're
why even
building?
put this? Why even put the effort in that you are now to stay in the society that you're in?
Yeah, I why not all be Amish?
Yes,
You
go
know,
for it, guys.
I hear they have some pretty severe inbreeding problems. Well, but they got no autism. You know,
Yep.
and that's another point. We have to be willing to take some risk. Yes, we're in a reality we don't control. Will people come out with autism? Will people die? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
People are gonna die.
it'll all be nothing regardless one day.
Yes,
Regardless of what we do, regardless if we sit around in our caves and wait for Superman, or we push forward to where we can warp reality into any way we want. Eventually, you'll be nothing.
well, there's a possibility. I think that okay, if we take the conservative viewpoint, right, and we sit around and we follow these old traditions, and if we go
Yeah.
even further and take the Abrahamic conservative viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
it's guaranteed that you'll be nothing. Extinction will
Yeah, you're
come for
right.
you, and if there is another reality, it'll be your only hope. But if we take the progressive route, we can fight as long as possible. If we even have to frame it as fighting, we're stuck in this paradigm of us versus them that
Yep.
it's hard to see out of because we're
This nation's borders, their religions versus
yeah
their religions, and that's the two main
yeah,
problems on planet Earth. That is the two main propagators of it.
and it's all just pure tribalism,
Yeah, it's all just glorified
dogma.
shit tossing games.
Yep, dogma and tribalism. Damn, how do we come right back to this? No shit flinging,
Cause
and
all we are is a bunch of dumb apes, I guess.
God, it's brutal because we could be better. We could be more.
We can't.
Back
I
to,
don't understand how you reserve faith in the Abrahamic religions, and yet in another hand produce human beings who can split the atom,
yeah, I don't
who
know.
who can see so far down into the micro universe and so far out into the macro, and yet still say we're still just children needing to be shepherded by an almighty father so that one day we can sit under its roof. And I don't know what their plan is once they get there.
Yeah, I
What,
don't either.
walk
I
around
guess
and
their
hold
God has
hands all
one.
day or something? I mean,
And
I
I'm
don't
not
get it.
trying to
To me,
demean people or talk bad about them or like put down their
yeah,
worldview. No,
yeah.
I'm just trying to make a point that,
Not just make a point, but hopefully try to enlighten them and open what has become big to say, but open that third eye
yeah,
a
well,
little
it's
bit. You
like
know,
we're
just
here,
provide another
man.
viewpoint. Yeah, it's like we're here. Let's do something with it. Do
It's like
something
it's
about it.
super selfish to me for
Yeah,
you to say that I'm good. I believe in
yeah,
this guy in this book. He's the son of God and stuff. He's going to save me. I'm good.
yeah. I
I'm going
mean,
somewhere. So I'm not really looking out here. And any progress
yeah.
that could be made, I'm going to call it evil. I'm going to call it
Mm-hmm.
evil and immoral because
It's
some archaic moral framework tells me it should be.
mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, man. It's like, so what's going to happen is now I'm following the truth as far as I can see it, looking back to Heraclitus and the other sophists and Plato and such. And this is all Plato's fault. But if war is the father of all, and really all that happens is power struggles and one thing against another, and if the the logos or the great symbolic narrative structure of reality is our map to it, the way we see this reality, and we can gain power and leech power from this reality through the logos, and there then this is going to come down to one thing: there's going to be people who think like me and you, We believe in technology's power. We believe in what it can offer to our species. We believe in consciousness, not just humanity, but consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
We believe this is what we worship. This is our dogma. This is
Mm-hmm.
how we have to move forward. We will be going to war with those people. These
Yes.
Abrahamics, it's going to end in a war between us. It's almost inevitable. They wouldn't have it any other way. Even though
No,
we
absolutely
could,
not.
we could see another way where we bridge realities, where we fuse narratives and we
Yeah.
move forward. We tried to do it in the Enlightenment. We tried. We made a really hard push, and for some reason, it seems like we might be dragged right back. And I like to believe the people who helped found nations like America seen this the way we see it. They've seen the potential of a better future. Maybe
Yes.
right now it's not. Maybe right now you have to plant some seeds that will grow trees that you can then harvest and use their wood to build houses. Maybe that's what that was like. And that's what we have to be like right now. But I would hate to think that there is a war coming and we're going to have to fight in it. Obviously I'm speaking metaphysically. I'm not speaking like a
Right.
literal war. God, I hope it wouldn't, but typically
Yeah, you never know
those
about
people
them
force real war to
Abrahamic
manifest.
practitioners. They'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they force real war to manifest.
Yeah, I mean it's happening now. So
Look at the Crusades.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, without getting in and disparaging specific groups and specific
yeah,
individuals, I
that's a
know,
whole other session on itself.
I know. But I hope we can move forward. I hope young people start seeing this for what it is.
Yeah, I mean we gotta end this forced indoctrination. And we don't call it that because it sounds bad, but I mean, if you're an American citizens, American family, and you're getting up and taking your kids to church, it's like, yeah, it's forced indoctrination into your religion. You're not letting them spread their spread their own wings, stretch their own legs, and get out into reality and experience it, and come back to you and get some viewpoints about it. You just
Yeah, because
you're
people are
taking
lazy and
yeah
they can only handle so much information. Okay, say today, say you meet a very well educated Christian, young guy. Really, he's latching on to Jordan Peterson Christianity, because Jordan Peterson told him he should. That's the
right
most
yeah
likely thing. Jordan Peterson told him when he was younger, you need a framework or you're lost. And here's
mm-hmm.
Christianity. And here's my Jew friends. And you know, and, but they'll say, well, I've read other religions, and they haven't.
yeah
I
no
guarantee
not
you,
to
not once have they ever looked into any Eastern religions, Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, other than maybe a YouTube video or two.
right
They just went with what grandpa did, or what their ancestors did, or what people with similar
mm-hmm.
skin color to them did.
Yep.
And they're not really informed on the vast system of ideas to try to explain what's going on here metaphysically. They're just
Yeah,
not.
because
And
they
that's,
just those people just don't believe that humans are capable.
yeah, they don't. And they're lazy. And they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to spend the time learning this information. And
Mm-mm.
I got to say this, if you're
It's
lazy,
in
do the
God's
world a
hand.
favor and just say you don't know.
Yeah,
If you're
it's a
going to
great
be
starting
lazy,
place.
yeah, just say, oh, I don't know. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Hell, if you're well informed, say, I don't know.
Yeah, I
That
mean
you'll hear me
you'll
say that.
always you'll not know about something.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here, and I'm cool with that. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
act like I know. I don't need to
But I'm
stand up
off.
like some man beat my
Yeah,
chest. You know?
but I'm also cool with having the ability to find out about something,
Yeah,
and that's
it,
worth praising.
it is. And this is what it means. The further you go out from your locus of control, you should be willing to say you don't know. The
Yeah.
closer to my reality, the more I know. When I go to work, I know what I'm doing. And if not, I try my best. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
at home and I'm dealing with my wife, I try my best to know what I'm doing. When I'm cooking food for my family, I try my best to know what I'm doing. As I edit this podcast, I'm going to try my best to know what I'm doing. When it comes to voting, I know a little less. It's a bigger problem. It's more expansive. It's further beyond
Yep.
me. I don't really know who the best person to vote for is. Maybe none of them. I don't really know what the best things to believe, what the best morality is to move forward as a species. I don't really know. I don't
But I'm
really
willing to
know.
discuss it.
Yeah, I'm willing to discuss it. I'm
Don't.
willing to be
It cannot
convinced.
become taboo,
It can't.
because if it does, your civilization's done.
And what it can't be is neurotic. You
Yeah.
can't be this neurotic individual who's afraid to discuss it, who's
Mm-hmm.
afraid to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do this. We have to mature as a species. It's weird.
We
But
do. We have to. No, you're right.
yeah. I don't know, you got anything more to say?
I mean, n- not really. It's the Abrahamic religions. They have a huge grip, huge hold on planet Earth and the multiple civilizations that have, are, and will exist. Probably. And it's, from my point of view, looking at it, I think it's about time that we quit being infantile with our development of civilization. And then we start putting our big boy britches on and saying we can do something about our problems in this reality. And if we can't, we'll figure out a way to.
Yeah.
And it's not okay for you to crumble up and fold yourself into a belief system that says it's okay for you to do the bare minimum as long as you hurt no one else, and you'll go to a happy place one day and just leave all the problems for everyone else.
It's so silly to think about. And of course, they make it seem like it's this fully fledged realistic thing. But when you actually make a caricature of it and you simplify it, man, it's just so weird to hear, you
It
know?
is. And
And I don't want to say that there's no value in those books. No,
yeah,
no, no, that's not the case at all.
I'm not saying that if once we move away from that being the main projector of our reality, we're just burn them. No,
Yeah,
they
let's
have their
write some new
uses.
fucking books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, just go back to my points earlier. It's okay for us to acknowledge our achievements and to have belief in ourselves and praise in ourselves and being grateful for ourselves for being able
Yeah.
to develop such immaculate and extravagant technology. And they would write it off as if, well, that's the creation of God for you. And I'm just like, yeah, that's easy to say if you've done nothing, or if you're trying to do nothing, if you're just doing your basic 9 to 5 until you die. It's like, that's an ant does that.
An ant does that. That's literally an ant's existence.
Yeah,
I might
it's
not be
time.
in any better of a position, but I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
same.
whenever I'm suffering in reality, or some small child suffering at the hands
Another
of
human being.
of criminals in their local
Yeah.
region, or dying in bombings
Yep.
over a land feud or an ideological feud, guess who's not there to comfort that child? Guess who's not there to help build a better reality for that child? This God they speak of.
Yeah, it's not your made up God. It's going to be fellow human beings that go out of their way to help the
Fellow human
crumbling,
beings.
to help the
And
broken.
yeah, and those human beings exist right now who think like this. And what you have to do, those human beings who currently exist right now, you have to be willing to fight a war metaphysically. You have to keep your
Yeah.
emotions handled. You have to not be scared. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be willing to every time to defend your position and not let these people win because they play in fear mongering. They play
Yeah.
in controlling narratives. This is built into what they do. It's their whole worldview is a narrative. They're really good at controlling narratives. They're really good at fear mongering. The whole worldview is fear mongering.
It is. It's
You
you
know, it's like,
you do this or else.
yeah. And you got to understand that's their tactics, that's the
Yeah.
strategy.
And comparing that
And
to how you and I are uh, trying to view it, it's not like that for us. It's not you do this or else.
yeah, because I want to say this, we have the power. The people who think like me
Yeah.
and you, we have the power because we can generate brand new technologies in reality.
Yeah.
We have the space in our imaginations, in our
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, in our within ourselves, we have the space to generate new things that have immense power.
Mm-hmm.
And if it ever comes down to a war, if we have to fear monger, if there has to be a narrative controlling, oh, we can do it. The people who think like me and you, the reason it's been done is because those people are doing it. They
Yeah.
provided the framework, you know, and I just don't want to see. I don't think any bloodshed has to happen. I really think that the way
No,
to go
not
is
not over this.
genetic manipulation. We need to rapidly start getting new generations of human beings, better nutrition.
Yeah, we gotta get back into eugenics on a
Yep.
public discussion, not
Yeah.
not outsourcing it because America said we're not going to practice eugenics anymore. It's like, no,
Yeah.
screw
We
that.
need better
We're going to
nutrition.
figure out a way to manipulate our DNA and genetics to push us forward to make us stronger.
Yeah. Better nutrition, uh,
Better
genetic
ingredients.
research,
Apologize.
AI, AI, uh, quality access to information. I a long time ago, I posted a thing on Facebook, and I was just saying if we just gave children better access to nutrition, uh, access to quality information, and
Yeah.
safe, not safe lives, but stable lives,
Stabilize.
lives where
Yeah.
day in and day out they can kind of predict what's going to come and go, we
Yep.
can generate better humans. Just that
Yeah.
alone.
We've proven that so far that delivers positive outcomes for the majority
We
of the
have proven that
populace.
so far.
You
We
know,
have, and I would
and
say
if
most of the world it understands
yeah.
this. They know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
now what
just
I'm going to
those
say is we should use technology moving forward to improve our genetics,
to amplify it.
amplify it. Yeah,
You
and
know.
we can get past this lumping in because I'm afraid we might still be in the dark ages, even though
Yeah. It
historically,
definitely.
as we write our books, we're now in the Enlightenment or post Enlightenment.
Yeah. Apparently, but when you have people with large platforms or whatnot to sit here and say, I don't believe in evolution. I don't think it happened. I think the hand of God just popped us all into existence all at once.
That is
It's just like you're
wild.
devolving, man. And for you to say that with such a large platform is dangerous.
Yeah, that is super dangerous. That's crazy. Or in the other way, and this is why I can't be conservative, because for me, I I am not a white Christian man. That's not my
Mm-hmm.
identity. I am I am nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have this sense of that I've got to fit into this group or that group. I That's tribalism. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
am? I'm struggling to try to be a good husband. I go to work every day and struggle to be a good electrical designer. I'm struggling to start this podcast and start a art channel so that I can actually put my voice out in the world and show people what's important to me. I'm
Yeah.
struggling to be a good stepfather. That's my identity. My identity's not white skin. My identity's not 32 years old, 33 years old. My identity's
Mm-hmm.
not a thinning hairline. My identity's none of those things. None of those things matter. They just happen to be part of my physical form.
All by
And
chance.
all by chance. None of that matters. And the more we think that matters,
The more tribal and dumb you become.
And
And
it's
more of the old
literally,
ways you continue to keep in practice.
to the definition of this word, it is literally retardation.
Yes.
It is. And I want to see a way out of it. I believe in America, where when you say I'm an American, it doesn't matter what country you're in. It means that you believe in progress. It means that you believe in liberation. It means that you believe in a battle against entropy.
Yep.
That consciousness can manifest itself in battle entropy.
That's the true battle.
That's the
Battle
true
against
battle.
entropy.
And that's what I want it to mean to being an American.
Yeah.
That no matter what, year in and year out, we're willing to reassess our dogma, our framework, our narrative to say, how do we further advance ourselves here? How
Yeah,
do
I
we
don't
do this?
I don't know how in one aspect we're okay with the evolution of our biological selves, but we're not okay with an evolution of our intellectual self. We we're
Yeah,
separated there
I
for some
know.
reason. It's like,
I know.
all
So
right.
what, we're going to live in a world where we we secretly value the progress that technology brings us because it improves our quality of life, but we're all constantly spreading like this low level passive fear
Yeah. It's like,
of what. Yeah, it's like that's what we're gonna do here. Like,
yeah, it's so weird. So it's like, so you're gonna, like Adam running behind the bush because he's naked and he doesn't want God to see him. Even
yeah,
though a bush separating, he thinks is separating the view between him and God matters. It doesn't.
yeah, he
It's
thinks
like that
being naked
reality's theirs
matters.
regardless. Yeah, it's like,
That's the funny thing, it's like, okay,
yeah, it's,
you know
yeah, it's too
and
good.
and that's why I say that their stories, the stories that these people follow, they're not worthless. I'm not saying that. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is your identity as this fixed thing around the stories is, it's
Mm-hmm.
worthless. And it's becoming more and more worthless. Actually, you're betraying what you are. You are betraying God. You're betraying existence.
Mm-hmm.
Because
If
rather
you
than be,
refuse to change.
yes, you're betraying existence if you refuse to change. And
Mm-hmm.
that it if I can speak in religious terms, that's evil. That's the evil
Right.
thing. If there is anything that's evil, it's that.